Hi and welcome. My name is Regina Cunningham, and I am an MSW student at Hawaii Pacific University. So today I'll be giving you a presentation on my capstone, which is entitled Sweeping as a Solution, the State of Homelessness in Hawaii. For my research, I conducted a policy review. So the policy analysis takes a look at the current laws in Hawaii affecting the unsheltered. Homelessness is a deep-rooted issue that has become a national crisis. And when I decided to look at this topic, it was because I wanted to understand why there seem to be so many challenges within a system, including here in Hawaii, even though there were ample amount of support and programs and housing. So this policy analysis looks at two City of Honolulu bills to determine their effectiveness on homelessness. The first is Bill 54, which directs the removal and disposal of personal belongings stored on public property, and Bill 73, which prohibits sitting or lying on public sidewalks. So to understand who is considered homeless, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, also known as HUD, states that the homeless are people who lack a fixed or regular place to stay on any given night for up to 90 days. And according to HUD reports, the state of Hawaii has the second highest homeless population in the United States. So this study takes a look at the city bills that allow encampments and the sweeping of encampments. Encampments are temporary structures or shelters, and sweeping of encampments means the removal of personal property, which can sometimes include personal identification and other documents needed for health care and placement into housing. So sweeping only moves homeless persons from one location to the next, often losing touch with support services and caregivers that they have long been associated with. So this chart shows the number of times there have been sweeps conducted in the city of Honolulu. The research found that there were over 1,600 sweeps conducted between July 2019 and June 2020, which estimated at 5 per day, with an annual cost to the state of Hawaii of over $5 million. This also indicates that during COVID, this vulnerable population was being displaced. This information was taken from the Partners in Care and is merely a sample of the programs that they provide. According to the United Nations, homelessness has become a global human rights violation, even in the states that have adequate resources. Criminalizing homelessness refers to those measures that prohibit life-sustaining activities such as sitting, lying, asking for money, and other needs in the public spaces. And anyone obstructing public sidewalks from 6 to 10 here in Hawaii could receive a $100 fine or community service. These challenges then become a social economic issue. So here you see the pit count of 2018, and it shows Oahu having a 1% decrease in the overall homeless population. So this data analysis shared by the Partners in Care used secondary data from in-shelter pit count between 2020 for 2020. Due to the COVID-19 restrictions, no pit count was conducted in 2021. And so the current year's data, 2022, has not been published, but as you can see here, race and ethnicity breakdown gives us the highest numbers in Native Hawaiian, which is 638 unsheltered. These were counts of people who were transitioning and also in emergency shelters. So here in the methodology section, the results suggested three common themes. The first was that the city bills 54 and 73 would most benefit lawmakers, mainly because they remove poverty from the public eye. Another showed that the homeless face numerous setbacks from the loss of property and also suffer the impacts of lack of social services. And lastly, a look at the affordable homes. There are more foreign investors, and so the buying power for locals is very low and slim to none, especially because of income and low wages. Recommendations: higher wages to accommodate the cost of living. Hawaii's minimum wage is currently $10.10. Also, to change the narrative, the way that we see homelessness, reevaluating processes and policies, decriminalizing homelessness, taking away some of the policies that do not protect them ultimately, having summits, social work involvement, getting involved and changing some of the ways that people see homelessness and the things that we can do to protect them. Lastly, it is important to mention historical laws such as the splintered paddle enacted by King Kamehameha I in 1782, directed to protect his people by proclaiming that all innocent persons be allowed to lay safely on the side of the road without being harmed or attacked. It states this law is a symbol Native Hawaiians place on caring for each other, and that this law is representative of strength and endurance of the most vulnerable people. Thank you for listening to my presentation.